I have just completed the Lost Civilization Enigma. It's the sequel of some sorts to the Ancient Alien Question. In the Ancient Alien Question, I asked the question whether we were alone or not. And the answer is no, we're not. But as I dug into our past, it is also clear that our ancestors, without the help of any non-human intelligence, were very capable of doing things on their own. Certain things far exceeding anything which our history books are really recording. And so I felt that there was a need for a successor, the Lost Civilization Enigma, in which we basically go in search of lost civilizations and unknown aspects of known civilizations. Material which scientists and historians really refuse to look at. It's my contention that when we abandoned the perspective that the world was born, created by God in 4004 BC, that we still continue to pretend as if civilization existed in 4000 BC. We largely do this because we so rely on the fact that somehow history seems to be linked with writing. And even though that's the case, history and civilization shouldn't really go hand in hand. The greatest accomplishment of a civilization is probably not the invention of a script. It is probably something which happens far older, far further back in time. And so when I started to explore this in the Lost Civilization Enigma, I came to a conclusion which really is that what civilization really means is that we began to realize that we were more than just a physical body. That we seem to have something inside our heads which was a mind, but that this mind also seemed to be something which could go outside of our heads, and that maybe this mind even survived death. This idea that we are spirit, that we go to a place after death, and that this divine spark inhabits us, to me is really the sign of civilization. And it happened way further back than 4000 BC. In fact, when you look at the greatest accomplishments of our ancestors, you will find that they're always in the realm of spirit. They are temples, they are sacred precincts. Whether we're looking at Gobekli Tepe or things like the Great Pyramid, all of these things have to do with the belief that we exist after death. And so that to me really is a fundamental change in our perspective towards history. And I will hope to show that in the Lost Civilization Enigma that our ancestors were very much aware of this, and that I think we really need to start redefining our perspective on what history really is towards that moment in time when our ancestors understood that we are more than just flesh and blood. Now, that obviously seems to exclude some aspects like lost civilizations of Mu, Atlantis, High Brazil, all of these unknown civilizations who are sporadically mentioned in certain texts. Did they exist? And if so, what happened to them? Well, those things of course as well are being explored in the Lost Civilization Enigma. I'll show you how Atlantis definitely needs to become part of our historical record, whereas for cases like Mu, the jury is still out, but that there's definitely an awful lot of substantial and interesting information to suggest the following two things. One, yes, there were lost civilizations, and they desperately need to come back within our historical framework. Two, we know about known civilizations, but we really need to allow new dimensions of those civilizations to come into the historical framework as well. And as I will show you along going through the pages of the Lost Civilization Enigma, it really is historians and archaeologists and science as a whole who quite often refuses to look at some known aspects of these lost civilizations, who try to explain away the evidence, sometimes in extraordinarily silly terms. The fact that science doesn't want to address the ancient alien question is something which I came to the conclusion at the end of the ancient alien question. And in this case, I unfortunately once again have to say that science is playing a role in not making lost civilizations part of our history. But if you want to explore the evidence yourself, you know where to go. You know that the answers will be in the Lost Civilization Enigma. And if you do go there, I hope you have a most enjoyable read.